team locked in for those playoffs. So now it's an opportunity to see, well, who will join Reunited on the North American side of things. I've got myself ZP and Joshy for the final game. Two North Americans for a North American final. It makes a whole lot of sense. Now, you did just witness the two semis, and if you didn't, just to quickly fill you in, it's been on the screen for so long, but TSM have got themselves a spot, and we did just witness NRG get completely rifled by the boys of Fnatic. A swift 2-0 from them, and I think that's where our story starts as we set the scene for the grand final. Gentlemen, it is just how good Fnatic looked in that one. Won a series, though. Is it? You don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Is it foolish to start, thinking these grandeur thoughts about Fnatic? Josh, you're shaking your head.
They were just so on fire, like you mentioned. Yeah, everything looked really good from where I was sitting in the back there. So I have to feel like they've got the momentum moving forward. And TSM, though they did play really well against Liquid, didn't play as well as Fnatic did against NRG.
I think actually, ZP, you had some criticisms you raised. Even though TSM picked up the win, I remember you were slightly reluctant to start singing their praises in their semifinal.
I mean, TSM, they were able to get the win over Liquid, and it's a hard thing to judge because Liquid has clearly been on the upswing. Waz has done wonders for them being added to that roster. But for TSM, they really had the fight for it, whereas you look at Fnatic going up against a team like NRG, where NRG historically has been seen a little bit above Team Liquid in a lot of cases. I'm not sure if that's the case right now, this instant, but Fnatic looked much more dominant in their series. So I think if we just go on what we've seen tonight, throw out some of the longer-reaching implications, I think that you give Fnatic a better shot of winning this than not. I would say, like, if you had to give odds to it, like 60-40, something in those lines, I think Fnatic is looking very strong, and they're a big favorite going into the series.
The scene is set, and we will be talking about maps and individuals in just a moment. But first, I want to go ahead and take this opportunity, while we have got new faces going ahead and looking at the Overwatch Open, to just go ahead and break down what this is all about. The format is very, very simple. 256 team spots. It's a single limb bracket, but it's so damn easy to get involved. FACEIT.com is where you head, and you can go ahead and start climbing up that leaderboard. You can compete with the very best, and if you can, go ahead and start picking up some wins. We may very well see you here on the stream. Saturday is for the round of 32, round of 16, and the quarters. All of those played out on the Saturday. So book up your weekend next week, and maybe we will see you there. What are they playing for? I keep saying playoffs. That's right. We're going to be having a lot of teams securing those playoff spots, 4 of which are guaranteed by winning the grand finals over these following 4 weeks. The rest picked up via points accumulated over the course of these 4 weeks. And so, admittedly, I keep saying sign up, you could be here. You would have to go ahead and win that grand final. It's a dream scenario for sure, and it's a dream for a lot of people. You can see NRG, despite falling short of holding that top spot in the points, 36 for them. So they rather, not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination, but in fact, no, it is. It's almost guaranteed for NRG. It's just a battle for seeds now for them, and they have conceded it in the semi-finals. But alongside them, TSM now in the grand finals, 30 points under their belt. This is what we have witnessed today, though. You can see I talked about these semis earlier on. It was a spectacular start to the North American side of things. That TSM Liquid game will be, I mean, one we remember, not forgetting that last week we saw the same matchup, and this time Liquid did fall. Previously, Liquid, the underdogs, or the dark horse, more appropriately given their logo, did actually manage to find the win. And now we saw Fnatic, of course, NRG. That was such a one-sided affair. That's where all this hype has come from over us here on the desk. That's why suddenly we are kind of getting a little bit excited about Fnatic. I know I personally have fallen into that trap of just seeing a great performance and assuming that they're going to now kind of walk through this grand final. Are you guys in a similar boat? Are we all going to start, waving the Fnatic flag, or is it a bit premature to do that?
Well, the thing about Fnatic is that they're a great storyline. They used to be known as Nubris, a bunch of players from a variety of different good teams in the past. Players like Cool, Matt, and Stoop, of course, were old Envious 1.0 alumni that made up the part of the new Nubris roster. They started out a little bit rough, but they were promising. And now it seems like their time playing together has really started to gel, and they've gone from a team that was sort of top 6 but near the bottom of the top 6 to a team that can really contest at the highest levels of NA. Not saying they're going to beat Envious anytime soon, but any other team that's out there clearly needs to fear Fnatic with how they've been playing, especially in the past week.
Yeah, and this is the map pool they'll be fearing them on. What do we get? We get ourselves a potential Hanamura.
And Anubis.
And Anubis. Okay, so 2 of the slightly lesser seen maps of the pool will be cropping up alongside home favorites like Kings Row, Dorado, and Hollywood. I mean, I always like this when Anubis and Hanamura do pop up, because if you wanted to throw a curveball, if you are, in our eyes, TSM coming into this one and you concede the first map, not forgetting the loser chooses, throw in a Hanamura. That's probably something that these guys haven't played in that long. It's not played competitively that often, right?
No,
Josh?
Not really. I think I haven't cast it at all the 2 weeks that I've been here. So I had won Anubis match last week for EU, but no Hanamura for me just yet. And the interesting thing here is no King of the Hill maps, not a single one. They ended up with 2 Assault maps, and none of them are King of the Hill. Interesting stuff there. 3 Payload maps, of course, we do see the most often. We can expect to see again. But yeah, that's
actually a very good point, especially considering we've seen the likes of Ilios and Nepal slipping through in a best of 3, best of 5, and not a single one.
Yeah, someone's definitely avoiding those King of the Hills.
That does certainly point one way or the other. I am going to ask you guys for predictions. I say you guys. You guys. That's right. Over on social media, hashtag OW Open. You guys have been great so far. As the weeks have gone on, that hashtag has been getting beaten up by you guys on social media, and please do continue to do so. OW Open, let us know how you are expecting to see this one go down. Who do you want to see prevail? Are you a CoolMat69 fan? Is it because he has the coolest name in the world? Or are you more expecting to see Stoop to a lower level? That's actually really not good. I was trying to think of something positive, and his name's not worked out. Still, we've dived back into Hollywood, and this is a map we did fresh in our minds from Fnatic. IDDQD did roam supreme on this map just a moment ago in the semi. Now it's time for the grand final, a best of 5. Could it very well be the blockbuster we all hope it to be? The North American grand final kicks off with CP and Josh.
All right, thank you, Alex. We are moving in here to Hollywood. And one thing of note here from here compared to the last series, Josh, I'm curious if you agree, is that overall TSM, one thing that they will be doing better, I think, than we just saw from NRG is that their hit scan play does feel to be a little bit of a higher level. Torque and Nicholas, of course, have been great at for a long time. I expect them to give IDDQD more of a struggle.
I agree, yeah. IDDQD was the one to watch in that previous series, but now he does have some stiffer competition, perhaps, with Torque and Nicholas. And the Reaper and McCree combo will be coming out of the gates. No Tracer this time around for either one of them. We did actually see both of them on Tracer at various points in their semifinal against Liquid. So very curious to see how we will actually be engaging here on the point. Will they come up through the SUV? Will they try to loop around? We've got no Harblue Roadhog this time around either. He's still sticking on that Zarya.
Yep, he is sticking on the Zarya, which is unfortunate. Harblue's Roadhog was enjoy the watch, a big reason for their success, but IDDQD and CoolMat combining here to take out Torque. Torque is getting a little bit over aggro, and look at how aggro Fnatic's going right now. They're pushing TSM right back, but they know in the back off they don't get over aggro and give up the point for free.
Yeah, definitely not allowing the defense to build up their ultimates either. Just get it out of line of sight. Don't, you can bait them out actually a little bit and sometimes get that pick, so it's really good discipline from both sides knowing when to back off. They are going to loop around the outside now and try to approach the point from the back. It can be a little easier to get in there. Sight lines are a little bit tougher with all the line of sight blockers, the dumpster and the boxes over there.
It is, but the good thing for them is that they were able to get around here in time. They are going to turn the corner. They're not going to be stuck in a funnel, and here comes Fnatic. They want to get them out of this right now. They are winning the poke battle. Torque goes down immediately. Stoop goes down, though, but look at Buds. Buds on a double kill in the back line right now. Pretty good coming out here from Fnatic. Wow. They don't want to give up any more kills, but they are holding strong. Need a few more to finish this out, and it's looking good for them right now, Josh.
Yeah, IDDQD still impressing with the McCree. Great flash and fan there to finish off Nicholas. Shake goes down as well, and once again, TSM are stopped flat. I think that was basically the tail end of the first real engagement we saw after the poke fest at the beginning, but time is ticking away now. Only 2 minutes and 25 seconds. The first half of point A is essentially bled away. Here we go, encountering again with ults available on both sides this time around.
Ults are available. We have the Deadeye being opened up here by Torque. Torque looking for at least one skull on this pickoff. Not able to get anything off it here just yet. Buds was in deep danger, able to teleport away. Don't see that happen all the time. And IDDQD right now buying all sorts of time with the zoning Deadeye. And TSM stuck back once more. They are going to be coming in on the point right now. They're looking for opportunity, but Buds dropping in the back line. Death Blossom takes out Torque immediately, and it's been a rough game for Torque. IDDQD with the fall through takes out the other TJO brother. And Josh, once more, Fnatic is doing it.
Yeah, Fnatic looking very solid. IDDQD in that kill feed as you expect. Stoop here in the front line, not allowing anything to slip past. And they have barely set foot on the point at all. That's actually pretty uncharacteristic. I wonder if Harblue, after, he will have an opportunity for a Graviton Surge here, but maybe the Roadhog might come out if he can't get it done.
I'll note, by the way, this is TSM's window. Only a minute 30 left. This next fight has to be successful for them. They're going to open up with the Sound Barrier, but look at Fnatic, Joshy. They have all these ults that they can use. They do run right in. Sound Barrier should be dropped here in just a moment by Joe Meister and Bonthil. Fnatic going to be the first to drop it. Deadeye over the top from IDDQD. Doesn't get what he's looking for right away. Here comes the Earthshatter. 3 members of Fnatic are knocked down. TSM on the way, and they get the first 3 kills.
Man, Fnatic really lighting it up right now. All of the ults were on point. JKW getting very low, but manages to stay alive. Shake actually getting the kill on IDDQD. Could swing things the other way with Nicholas still standing. I think finally they are going to be able to assert themselves in 3 minutes into point A. They will be able to stomp out that defense finally and get that payload moving.
Yeah, and that worked out pretty well for TSM at the very end. And really, it was the Earth Shatter from JKW that set that up. Enough members of Fnatic were down that they were able to go in and get what they were looking for.
Now that the payload is moving, no one actually rushing forward. They did kill them pretty early on, and it was a little bit staggered. They had some losses on their own side, so no one is going to push forward. Previously, we saw Nicholas and Harblu push up really far, trying to prevent the defense from getting set up, but it's not going to be the case this time. Fnatic has a lot of opportunity to get up there. Stoop on that Winston now will be able to get around a lot easier than on that Reinhardt. Buds still on the Reaper, almost has his Death Blossom available, probably going to take 1 or 2 shots from up here before trying to land that flying Death Blossom.
Yeah, and take a look. Buds will be going for that Death Blossom here in just a moment. As Josh has mentioned, he is just waiting for the right opportunity. 98%.
Oh.
But here comes Harblu, the Roadhog back in the house. Just ruins Buds' day there. Doesn't get the kill, but definitely stops him from getting what he's looking for. Gets him off the rooftop, and this is much better position for TSM. But IDDQD coming in. A double kill for IDDQD, Joshy, and he is still the raid boss that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, he is definitely impressing. Once again, Harblu here getting extremely low on health, and all those Death Blossom bullets coming out from Buds finally does find the window that he's looking for, and 4 kills go the way of Fnatic. Great defense there. Things looked a little crazy at the start, but everything falling the way of Fnatic in the end. IDDQD with the great left clicks, Buds with the perfect ultimate timing there, stops TSM cold in their tracks.
Yeah, and in the end, it does work out for Fnatic, a little bit rough for TSM. I like the approach from Harblu in the very beginning, even though it didn't work out. I think when he was doing well on Roadhog, it was a big reason why TSM was going well. And look at how Fnatic has to back out right now. They don't want to challenge that directly. They're giving up more space to TSM, but Cool Matt poking in from the back. And they're just going to jump right down. Here comes Custa opening up the Transcendence, going to keep people alive. They do dive in Harblu. He's the first down. IDDQD takes out his counterpart. A 2-to-1 edge here for the side of Fnatic. TSM doing a good job of at least keeping it in, but the momentum in this fight definitely not in their favor.
Fnatic look like they definitely are aware of the flanking Roadhog antics of Harblu. He's been shut down a couple of times, not just in this series, but others. When it works big, but when it doesn't, it feels really bad to lose that Roadhog so quickly, and Fnatic just ready for it, able to jump on him there. Cool Matt does get the cleanup for Fnatic again. Even though they did lose a couple of people in that fight, they're going to hang on once again here in the Streets phase.
Well, here's the scary thing, that Buds has already built up another Death Blossom, and he has the high ground. Shake might be shook here in just a moment if Buds drops right down. Torque is going to open here with the Deadeye. Sound Barrier protecting. Buds did drop down, didn't like what he saw. So Deadeye will come out here. They will get more payload progress. And here comes Harblu, whole hog on the way. Will get taken up by IDDQD at the last moment. 5v5 right now between both, and IDDQD once more picking apart the enemy team. And he's going to open up opportunities here, and that's going to be a 3K in the end. Make it 4. IDDQD on a rampage once more.
McCree players, take note. IDDQD is putting on a clinic. I mean, really, it's hard to replicate that. He is just getting the perfect shots at the perfect times. He's got a lot of space. That's credit to the rest of his team, the supports and the tanks, keeping a lot of cushion between the attacking team and IDDQD. He has the range of movement available to get where he needs to go.
All right, well, interesting change-ups here. We have Torque right now looking for the Widow pickoffs. Probably just wants to get a pickoff on the IDDQD while he's not looking for it. I mean, Widow's one of the ways of doing that. Harblu got caught on doing a Harblu, as it were. Harblu trying to flank with the Roadhog. So this is already 65 in favor of Fnatic. And for TSM, they actually do have to just wait here for Harblu to get back in.
Harblu, I think, could switch back to Zarya now. We're getting pretty close to the end of this push. Harblu, of course, with those hook combos can come in handy. Torque gets a couple of shots on IDDQD, but it's not enough. IDDQD actually used his ultimate there to ensure the kill onto Torque. Joe Meister going down as well, and time has run out. I kind of lost track there while all this was happening, but it looks like TSM is not going to be able to reach this next checkpoint.
We'll see. They still have a glimmer of hope here. They do have an overtime. A nice hook by Harblu will take out Custa, so they do have momentum on their side. Fnatic's going to be able to stall this out. It's going to matter of how many people will be able to get on the point. But the reason why we lost track of time there a little bit is that the first point defense is really good by Fnatic, but you take a look at this, I don't even know if Fnatic's going to be able to get here in time. The payload is moving there, and TSM going to extend the time at the 11th hour, but Fnatic's still in a really good spot here to end this before the final checkpoint.
All right, credit to the tanks of TSM. They managed to stay alive long enough to get that cart into position. They blocked the exit for Fnatic's defense to try and rush out there and contest, so everything still okay for TSM. This is the minimum amount of time available to try and push this last point. Harblu doing his thing, running off as Roadhog. At least he can sustain himself if he gets in trouble. Easily hops down there and heals up full, but we do have a couple of ults available on the side of the defense for this next engagement. Sound Barrier and Graviton Surge should be ready for Fnatic.
All right, Fnatic right now looking to drop down in just a moment. You take a look at Cool Matt. Graviton is at the res, Josh has mentioned. Good ultimates up for them. TSM, though, keeping decent positioning. They're not going too far aggro. Hardblue just camping, waiting for someone to hook, not getting the opportunity, but the payload is moving forward. But with a minute left, they have to make their move soon.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that perfect moment for the Graviton Surge. You can lob it into Reinhardt's shield and just pull everyone in there, but you need that positioning from the rest of your team. There's the Graviton Surge, catches a lot of people, but the sound barrier on the side of the offense will keep them all in high health, and Torque and JKW actually get the first round of kills. That Genji doing a ton of work for Torque.
Yeah, it was again doing a lot of work, but JKW had the clutch Earth Shatter, which knocked down 3 in the back line. It didn't matter that they had a monster of a Graviton Surge there, and TSM coming in. Will the dream be real? Torque the Dragon Blade in the back, takes out Custa, makes it a double kill. Nicholas with a little bit of cleanup, and TSM against the odds, able to go through last relatively easily. And I didn't want to mention it, but this has been a thing for Fnatic.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time that they've almost had a hold in the middle of the map and then collapse on last. I feel like as a team, if they have weaknesses, that's one of them where if they think they have the game won and then they lose it for some reason, it's really hard for them to recover for some reason.
There is a term for that I'm sure the Twitch chat has already come up with. I think it is choke, but
or throwing.
Or throw, yeah, definitely.
It's multifaceted.
It could be a throw or a choke. That's all kinds of things. But IDDQD just lit up the screen throughout that defense. It wasn't enough, unfortunately, for Fnatic to prevent them. I actually have to apologize to TSM. The payload was so far back when overtime started in that Streets phase. I thought there was no way they were even going to reach that checkpoint, but they proved me wrong and proved Fnatic wrong, more importantly, getting the completion there.
All right, but that being said, there's a lot of time to work with here for Fnatic when they go on their attack. Lots that they can use to their advantage here, and for them, as long as they don't get full held on point A, I think things look very bright for them. TSM is going to have to dig deep, and if they can't defend it on point A, which is still unlikely with what we've seen from different teams, they at least need to try and go for the second point hold, because if it gets to last, unless they have an equally impressive hold like Fnatic did, they're probably going to lose the game. So TSM certainly under more pressure here than Fnatic is.
Before the doors open here, I will ask you your opinion of the Widowmaker switch during that second stretch. Do you think it mattered at all? Because Widow got picked off by a Deadeye, and then we kind of didn't see it again.
Widow is a hard thing to evaluate because Widow is either the best idea ever or the worst idea ever. I think it's not bad. There's been multiple cases here where actually Buds did last time against Sodipop, where he went Widow and just picked off Grim Reality immediately to start the fight. And it really won them the fight after. So if you have a McCree that's a real pain in your butt, going for the surprise Widow swap, not staying it on the entire time, but just going for that one quick pickoff onto a McCree, I think it's a solid idea, even if it didn't fully work out there for TSM.
All right, the doors are open now. We get a look at the offense and defense of both sides. We've got Genji in play on both sides, but IDDQD on this Tracer, who I'm going to be watching, as he did get the incredible play of the match on the previous round, the semifinals. So definitely an apt Tracer, as well as that McCree that we saw earlier. Vonnefield down already for the attacking team. Joe Meister actually gets credit for the kill.
Yep, Joe Meister getting that first kill here for the defense. Lucio on Lucio action, starting things off, and TSM, not a bad look to start things out. It is difficult to go in as an offense if you lose your Lucio early on, so Fnatic, they're just going to back out a little bit, wait for their opportunity.
Yeah, good discipline again from both teams. This is something you'll see weaker teams kind of fail at. They'll lose a player and just continue pushing in 5v6, and there's really no reason for it. It's just a matter of knowing when to pick your battles, just like in life. In Overwatch, you need to back out from time to time. Torque versus the enemy Genji there. Buds actually falls first, and so the defense looking okay here, getting the first few kills. Lucio is going to get focused down now. Stoop falls, and Torque just carves through Vonnefield.
That is a great defense coming out from TSM, and here's the key to the defense on Hollywood is that you cannot just simply trade 1-for-1. You will not reinforce in time. You have to be trading at least 2-to-1, preferably 3-to-1, and TSM was able to do just that there. Coleman, I think, got one pick off, but it certainly wasn't enough. And for Fnatic, 2.5 minutes left. You don't panic here just yet, but if they don't get it on this push, they certainly need to get on the next push. So that is where things are looking somewhat rough.
Ultimates are starting to get earned now. Torque with the Dragon Blade out immediately, looking for whatever he can find. Gets actually a ton of damage across the board. 3 kills, going for the 4th, but Custa does manage to ward him off, and we still have JKW alive on the point here for the attack, or sorry, for the defending team, and it's going to pop a Transcendence. So I don't know about that Transcendence, CP.
No, that Transcendence was a horrible idea from Custa. I mean, that's one of those things where I can be it was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it keeps him alive, I guess, but now they don't have it for the next team fight, and they still have to wait for Buds anyways.
Yeah, we do have actually Sound Barrier available for the defending team this time too, and an Earth Shatter comes out.
That is a huge Earth Shatter from Reinhardt, setting up for 4 kills on the side of TSM. And now we're talking about panicking and all the rest. This is now the panic time for Fnatic because their last few wipes have not been that productive. TSM is able to stockpile a whole bunch of ults, and it's not looking good, Joshy.
No, Fnatic, I mean, the Dragon Blade has to get a lot of mileage here. Stoop can engage as the Winston Primal Rage, but Joe Meister has an answer for it immediately with Sound Barrier if needed. So as long as he can hit that button before going down, I think I like TSM's chances. We do have an engage here from Winston. As expected, Coolmat and the rest are going to follow suit. Stoop still hasn't used his ultimate, but Bud's pulling out the Dragon Blade, looking for what he can, finds Torque. Joe Meister goes down as well. This could be Fnatic's push.
Fnatic, they are getting what they need. IDDQD gets a double kill in the end. Bud's looking for a little bit more. It's just JKW on the Reinhardt dancing around. His Bloodheart armor will not be enough to keep him alive. And for Fnatic, they finally will be able to get this point. But you look at the time, they still have plenty of time to get through here, but they've definitely gone through much of their buffer.
Yeah, I think nearly a 9-minute time overall to work against. It has to feel good when you're attacking in, but a lot of it was used on A. I have to give credit to TSM. Full holds on point A on Hollywood are extremely rare. I can't think of the last time I actually saw one. So definitely, you know, not a fault of TSM at all. It's actually great that they lasted as long as they did. And now they do actually have time to set up on the high ground, even though Fnatic has pushed far forward. They're not able to engage just yet.
Yep, Fnatic right now, they will be ready to engage here in just a moment. They're going to go right in. Winston leading the way with his Zarya shield. IDDQD looking for the skulls on the Deadeye. Does take out Shake. Shake got greedy, and here comes IDDQD on the double kill, looking for Lucio. Lucio has to try and get away, will not get away, and that's going to be quite the turnabout here for Fnatic. And they won't take second off this entirely, but they're going to be darn close.
Yeah, that's a ton of mileage they just earned themselves. Stoop down to only 200 HP, but that's all right. That you only need one, turns out, as long as you get the kill. So he leaps away to his team to stay alive a little bit longer. Harblue will be respawning to join his team. They will be able to contest again. You're right, they're not going to get the checkpoint off of this, but they do have to enjoy the fact that they got pretty far off of just one push. Torque has the Dragon Blade available. Let's see how it goes.
Dragon Blade now coming in. He's going to the back line. Another Dragon Blade is out of turn, and Buds gets way more. He takes out Buds in the back. IDDQD shuts down Torque immediately. The Graviton is out. Buds even feasting. Coolmat setting up his plate. And Coolmat having a little bit too in the end, a double kill of his own. Oh, man.
He's going to have a stomachache after eating all that.
No kidding. So Fnatic, after a kind of a rough start, Joshy, I think they're doing pretty well here.
Yeah, Fnatic already pushing up into the final stage here. This is 4 minutes available. They're actually working essentially against the game clock here. As long as they can finish the map in that reasonable amount of time, they will take the map. So it's up to TSM now. They do have Transcendence. They do have Death Blossom to work with. Even though all of Fnatic is on fire, they really only have IDDQD's Deadeye to try and push in here. So TSM has some wiggle room to stay alive, bleed some time off the clock.
Let me take a look at TSM, one of the watchers, Nicholas. Nicholas does drop in right as I say that. Death Blossom on the way. Does take out Vonethil, but IDDQD just backs out. Channels the Deadeye. Will break the Reinhardt shield, but you look at this. This looks like a pretty solid hold by TSM. And Joshy, this is what they need to do, I think, if they want to bring this back. Good holds like this.
Yeah, losing IDDQD there and not getting the value off of his ultimate is a great swing for TSM. They still have now both support ultimates available to stall out and stay alive as long as they can. Coolmat, there's a Graviton Surge actually out from the defense, catching 3 members of the attacking team, and it looks like they're all going to go down. Great combination there from the DPS players. Coolmat falls as well, and everything looking good for TSM.
TSM piling it on once more.
Nice.
Torque with the deflect kill at the very end. So TSM making their stand. Just a little under 3 minutes here left. They're definitely not out of the fire yet at all, but they are slowly inching through it. Just so you guys know the stakes that are at place here, Fnatic has about 3 pushes left. The next push, they do have some ults at hand. They will be able to Sound Barrier in the Dragon Blade. And they're not wasting any time. They're going in right now. They should be dropping that Sound Barrier in just a moment. And here comes Stoop on the way. Dragon Blade going to be coming out. Torque coming out to Dragon Blade on his own. Everyone dropping the beat and the blade. We see Torque in the back looking for IDDQD. Able to take him out in the end. 2 kills here for TSM. Make it 3. And Joshy, this is still looking like a decent hold from TSM.
Persistence pays off there for Torque. He sliced and sliced and sliced through that Transcendence, finally found the kill on IDDQD, and I have to think it's worth it. He did switch off of McCree, in fact, after dying there to Tracer, just to be able to return to the payload a bit faster and keep it moving. You don't want it to roll back. Obviously, every second counts now with only 2 minutes on the clock to try and finish things up.
All right, well, you take a look at Coolmat here. He's going to be looking to drop this Graviton. Everyone is dropping Gravitons. It's a double Vortex. Everyone get to know your neighbor. But you look at this, it's 3 kills for them. It's Nicholas over the top, puts an end to it, gets a double kill. And TSM going to hold there in a very Man, there's no personal space there, Joshi.
This has been a great game. Yeah, everyone got uncomfortably close there, and Nicholas is like, nope, not having it. Die, die, die. Get out of my way. And TSM has to feel good about the outcome there. Only 90 seconds left. Wow, Winston all the way up in the face of the defense. IDDQD actually has plenty of room to get into Shake's personal space, takes him out. Now Vonathil actually, Joe Meister, excuse me, taking the heat, and IDDQD gets a quick double there on the supports. Pulse Bomb is available, and suddenly they're cruising to the VIP spot.
Buds and IDDQD combining there for those pickoffs. Bud's the muscle in the front, IDDQD with the flank in the back, and in the end, Fnatic is able to clutch it out.
What a great game.
It was good. I thought TSM was actually going to bring that back, even though the odds were against them with how quickly Fnatic got to the last point. In the end,
some of these ults were so ridiculous, ZP. Like that Earth Shatter alone, we had some great Dragon Blades. Every Graviton Surge was just like a ridiculous circus. Buds and who was the other Genji? I'm forgetting already. Was it Torque? Yes, Torque. Yes. Both of them had some money Dragon Blades throughout. That kill on Shake was actually pretty dramatic. Ended up actually really costing TSM on the defense. They moved through this phase pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that play from there in IDDQD, that was huge because Shake, he peeked out a little bit, got caught, and it set up IDDQD for what was effectively a triple kill and made this next push so much easier for Fnatic. So it just, little mistakes like that can snowball into horrific disasters for a team. And credit where credit's due, though. TSM made it close at the end, and they did entertain the idea of having the hold.
Wow, just a great game to get us started for a best of 5. I really hope that all the rest of the maps, whether we get 2 or 4 of them, will be as close as that one was. We also, we have the potential here for Hanamura and Anubis, and we know that those are basically ultimate showcases overall. You end up attacking 3 times each very often, and ultimates can just decide who wins.
Right, Hanamura and Temple, those are not maps that teams particularly love going to in the middle of a series, but if this series is as close as we want it to be, we very well could see both of them. But if you want to find out if that happens, tune back in as we are taking a short break. This is the Overwatch Open Grand Finals of NA, TSM versus Fnatic, and we'll be right back.